Hey everyone, welcome back to another Senior Safety Advice podcast. I'm Esther Kane, a certified aging in place specialist, a retired OT, and a dementia care specialist. But today I want to give you a personal story. The purpose of this story is to give you a little warning, a little precaution to step back and take charge of your situation. Well, you'll understand when I tell you the story. All right. Um, some of you may know I've been remodeling my kitchen for aging in place, and I'll be doing a video on that pretty soon because it's done. So the day that it was completed, I noticed a small trickle of water, like a 2-inch trickle of water coming down the garage into the driveway, and it seemed to be coming from the water heater. So I contacted a plumbing company because I don't have a regular plumber. Um, and I've never really been through a leak situation before in any of my houses. So anyway, the plumber showed up and he noticed that there was a leak in the regulator above the water heater. So he had to replace that. So that was 680 some odd dollars. All right. So that was done. I was happy that was done. I was happy the kitchen was done. No more construction people coming and going. Oh, I was ecstatic. All right. So I cleaned up the water in the garage. Later on that day, I went back into the garage for something, and now I noticed 4 streams, about 1 to 2 inch streams of water going down the garage into the driveway. All right, so I called back the plumber. He showed up and he said, well, there's a leak somewhere, obviously. So while he was here, he went ahead and contacted a leak detection company who showed up the very next morning. Now, never having gone through this kind of situation before, I really wasn't sure what the procedure was. Well, the leak detection company showed up with their gadgets and going around and seeing what was leaking and where, whatever. And they found out that the leak was actually in the floor. My house is on a slab, a cement slab, and the leak was in a pipe in the floor inside the laundry room, just on the other side of the wall of the garage, the garage wall, just on the other side of the hot water heater. So it wasn't the hot water heater, it was the pipe inside the floor, which of course meant the floor had to be picked up and they had to fix the pipe in there, and they had to make sure, that there wasn't more water damage anywhere else. That laundry room had vinyl flooring, but just outside of that, the rest of the house is all wood flooring. All right, so there was water absolutely starting to come up through the vinyl. So I'm placing towels everywhere, trying to keep it from getting into anything else. So while the leak detection company was here, they went ahead and called a mitigation company, which showed up in the afternoon. Now, mind you, this is all happening like in, less than 48 hours. Everybody's coming and going and doing what they need to do, and I'm relying on the experts to do what they need to do. So the mitigation company is telling me that, yes, insurance is going to take care of everything, but, we need to, and they measured everything. They did videos of everything, photographs of everything. And the guy was here for hours, and he was looking what he told me was that they were going to remove the vinyl flooring, and the plumbers were going to come back and dig through the cement, jackhammer through the cement to get to the pipe, to fix the pipe, and hopefully everything's okay and they can just fix the pipe. But, because the water is coming up, then that means, it's probably going to have to also affect the wood floor and the walls on either side. The laundry room is right by the kitchen, so the wall between the laundry room and the kitchen and the wall between the laundry room and the garage. And because I have wood flooring and the entire first floor is wood floor, all of that would have to be taken up. So that meant they would have to bring in a pod to take my furniture into a pod and put me up in a hotel. I mean, it was just a little overwhelming. It was so many things. Oh, no, no, insurance is going to take care of it. No problem, no problem. And I'm thinking, and he said, but you do need to call the insurance company. I'm thinking, yeah, I need to call the insurance company. So I called the insurance agent and he showed up the very next morning. And here's the insurance agent walking around. And now he and I are not seeing any damage on the wood floor or the wall. Now, obviously, it doesn't mean there isn't any. Water certainly could have seeped up into the insulation in there, especially the house part between the kitchen and the laundry room. But there wasn't any visible damage at all. And plus, in the laundry room, I have custom cabinets, from one of those closet by design companies. So they were going to tear all of that out. And I was just thinking, and the insurance guy didn't look like he was going to be looking to pay for all of this stuff. Because I was telling him what the mitigation company was saying, and he was not looking. So anyway, that afternoon, I received a check from the insurance company. They paid me right away. It certainly wasn't going to cover every single thing. I went ahead and paid the plumber because I said I need this leak fixed right away. So the plumber, in the meantime, had come back. So he was here while the insurance guy was here. So there was jackhammering and dirt. And yeah, of course, they had to rip off the vinyl floor and all of that. He fixed the pipe. He told me that the copper pipe was corroded. So I was going to have the whole house repipe. So I was just overwhelmed with everything that was going to have to happen after 2 months of kitchen remodeling. And honestly, the kitchen was the very last room I had to do in this house. I spent the last 3 years working on remodeling this home to make it age-in-place friendly. So, all right, now I had to do all of this, the repiping and the new floors. And I couldn't even, okay. So luckily, my contractor, who I've had all this time, all these years, her husband is a master electrician, plumber. He's works for the city of where I live in Suwanee in Georgia. He works for the city as inspector, home inspector. He has all kinds of certifications and training and everything having to do with electrical and plumbing and building and all of that. So I asked her, can he come and take a look at this pipe? Because of course I asked the plumber to leave the pipe. So he came and he looked at the pipe and he said, yeah, it's not corroded. He said, the way you can tell a copper pipe is corroded is by looking at the inside of the pipe. And the inside of the pipe was absolutely pristine. He said, there is nothing wrong with your piping. So the lesson here is that the plumbing company was trying to get me to purchase a whole house repipe, which was not necessary. But so that's lesson number 1. The mitigation company was doing all they could to get me to do as much as possible to the house so that they could bill the insurance company. All right. So the day that my contractor's husband showed up and told me about the pipe, actually, the minute he left, the mitigation company showed up. Now, in the meantime, because the floors were wet, because the vinyl floors were wet and everything, they had placed fans and humidifiers and all over the house and the garage. I think I had a dozen fans and humidifiers just everywhere, blowing and humming for 3 days. Going and going. So when the mitigation company showed up, I thought they were here to pick up the fans. So the guy comes in and I said, oh, are you here to pick up the fans? And he said, well, no, I'm here for demolition. Demolition? What do you mean you're here for demolition? I thought you said, or I thought the mitigation company, the guy who came, said that we were going to wait to see what the insurance company had said, that you were going to talk with them first, to see what they would pay. And he said, no, no, no. I'm here to knock down the wall and to, tear up part of the wall into the garage and to tear out your custom cabinets and the wood flooring. and partially of the wood flooring, because obviously they hadn't brought the pod over yet to empty out the house. And I just looked at him and I said, "Oh no, 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 absolutely not. No, no, because I had already gotten the check from the insurance company. I didn't tell them that, but I said, no, absolutely not." So I called the insurance agent and I said, "What is going on here?" And he said, "Well, the mitigation company is doing all they can to get as much out of the insurance company as possible." And now I know, of course, the insurance company is doing all they can to pay as least as possible. Now, what they paid was a very fair amount. I didn't think that I was gypped at all. So I thought that was great, no problem at all. But to you can only imagine what the repiping of the house alone was supposed to be somewhere between 20 and 30,000. And I can't even imagine what the cost was going to be from the mitigation company. So he said oftentimes the mitigation company will come in, will do everything, and then they'll bill the insurance company, but the insurance company doesn't always, maybe oftentimes, I don't know, doesn't always pay the entire amount. So then the homeowner is stuck paying the remaining bill. Of course, I didn't know that because I'd never been through this. So that's why I am telling you this. So I told the mitigation guy, no, 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 get away. Nope, you're not knocking anything down. You're not taking anything down. No. And so he said, well, I have to go talk to, he looked at me like, what do you mean? He said, I have to go talk to my manager. I said, fine, go talk to your manager. So he went outside, and while he was outside, the manager called me on my phone. Look, we're only looking for your best interest. We need to get the house cleaned and cleared and, ready for you to live in it safely. And I'm like, no, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I was lucky enough that I just finished remodeling the home. So I said, look, I've had a contractor here for years. I am going to use her to make the repairs. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Of course, in the meantime, I had already been talking with my contractor. She knew the whole story of what was going on because, like I said, I'd never been through anything like this before. So I could see how easy it is for someone to just get swept up and let professionals take care and do whatever it is that they needed to do. That's very easy to do, easy to get scammed. In a way, it's a bit of a scam. So, anyway, so finally the guy left. He did take the fans, thank goodness, a little bit of quiet in the house. So he took the fans and everything was clear and done. I had my contractor come, her plumber came, and we tested for moisture everywhere and there wasn't any. Obviously the floor has to get redone and some shelving in that room has to get redone. But otherwise, everything else is fine. No walls have to get knocked down. No wooden floors have to get replaced, thank goodness. And no repiping. So I saved myself a ton of money, a ton of headaches. Can you imagine having everything put into a pod, I have 2 cats, trying to get the cats into something, to get into a hotel or motel or whatever, for however long it was going to take for them to do the floor. And then I started hearing stories from friends and neighbors and whatever about their stories with mitigation companies, how that exact thing happened where they would be put in a hotel. It was supposed to be 4 days. It ended up being a week. There were all these extra problems that ended up being, needed to get done. The contractors that the mitigation company brought in didn't quite do the work quite well. The bill went to the insurance company. They didn't pay the whole thing. Then the homeowner had to pay the rest of it. It was just one thing after the other. I'm not saying that mitigation companies are not worth it. They are worth it, but because they come in, they set up the fans, they dry up the area, they fix it for any smoke, any damage. They can do that. But please make sure that whatever it is that they do is the right thing to do and that you're not stuck paying more than what an insurance company would pay. Have them talk with the insurance company before they come in with the hammer, sledgehammer, crane, whatever it is that they're doing. I couldn't believe that guy just showed up and he was going to start demolishing my home. I was, I mean, without even any, hey, we're coming in today and we're clean, I mean, I thought that was really crazy. So, anyway, that's my story. It's a cautionary tale of be careful, take charge, don't be afraid to say no. One thing that a friend of mine said that I thought was so worthwhile said, Esther, you are the boss. You make the decision. Don't let them railroad you into whatever it is that you're doing. Because obviously I was talking to, my contractor a lot saying, well, what do I do? How do I go about this? Oh my God, they're doing this, they're doing that. And it didn't really hit me because it went so fast. Like in the morning, and then the plumber immediately called the leak detection people, and then they showed up, and then they called the mitigation people, and they showed up. It was bang, bang, bang. It was almost as if you just have no time to think, and you're just letting people, the pros, do whatever it is that they need to do in order to get your life and house back in order. But that wasn't the case. If I had let that happen, I would be doing this podcast from I don't know where. And God only knows what the bill would have ended up being for me and the insurance company, which, actually not too bad of a thing. But anyway, that's my story. Please learn from it. Be careful. You are the boss. Remember that. Take charge, research, and let them tell you exactly what it is that they're doing piece by piece. Write it down, record it, whatever, so that you understand the actual process of what is going on before you sign the dotted line. I mean, anyway, all right. Have a great day. And thank you so much for listening to my cautionary tale. And I will see you next time. Take care.